And then we go on to the Enterprise E, which was the Sovereign class introduced in First Contact. While it was a cool looking ship, I didn't like the lack of a neck in this design. But it did look good. I mean, it's not like I reject it from reality or anything. I just always preferred the Star Trek ships to have like a neck,
No, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a classic silhouette, man. You can't change that.
That's kind of how I felt about it. It was like, even though the D had different shapes, you could still recognize what it was supposed to be.
Yep.
Yeah. Excelsior, the same thing. Yeah, it might be long and kind of spindly, but it's all the stuff is in the right place.
Yeah.
They would have this ship throughout the rest of the movie series from First Contact through Nemesis. But Nemesis, the less I say about that, probably the better.
Yeah, it's in Insurrection also.
Oh, yeah. There was that one in between there.
Yeah, I don't, those movies, man, like, with the exception of the first original series movie, I really liked the Star Trek movies until the Next Generation ones started coming out. They were just, I don't know. They just, even though the Next Generation was like, quote unquote, my Star Trek, I did not enjoy hardly any of the movies.
Well, you notice like when they get into the Next Generation movies, and I'm sure other people have done this better, but it becomes the Data Picard show. And everybody else is kind of like put on a raft and left in the background somewhere. And Data and Picard are like the best friends who ever lived. And neither one of them are really the characters they were in the TV show.
Yeah, and that's probably what put me off of him. Because with the original series crew, it feels like they were still the same characters from the show.
Yeah. Yeah, they were still recognizable in every way. And they still fulfilled all the same roles,
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas this, like all of a sudden now you're focusing on Data and Picard and everything's about the two of them. And Picard is now suddenly a revenge-driven lunatic and they all break the rules. Like, can you imagine the Picard on the TV show Next Generation breaking the Federation rules as many times as he did in those couple movies?
Absolutely not.
No way. Yeah. There is no way. So we get that through the end of that movie. Now we get a kind of an interesting little thing here. The Star Trek Online game introduced an Enterprise F at some point.
An Odyssey class.
Yeah. Now, the most recent preview trailer thingies of Picard Season 3, we see the Enterprise F, and it is the one from the game. So they are taking this from the game and making it a canon ship. We don't know anything about it. So far, we don't know who the crew is, but we will be seeing that in the new Picard season when that starts in February. Yeah,
this is another one of the iterations that I don't care for a whole lot for pretty much the same reasons.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have any neck. It to me, it more closely resembles the Enterprise NX.
Sure. Yeah, more flattened out and close together. Yeah. So that one is coming. Now, there are a few things that stand out here that were kind of, I don't know, apocryphal may or may not be quite the right name for it, but there is the NCC 1701J from an episode of Star Trek Enterprise. It is a time ship, and it looks a bit like a pizza cutter.
Yeah, this thing looks dumb.
Yeah.
Like really, really dumb. Really dumb.
Yeah. Then there is the NCC 1701M, which is a museum replica of the Enterprise from a fan-made movie called Star Trek of Gods and Men. I can't remember. Our friend Rico may or may not had something to do with this one. I can't remember for sure, but Tim Russ from Voyager did.
Okay.
And Alan Ruck, John Harriman is in there as the captain of one ship or another. There's a lot of past parts are brought up, like Nichelle Nichols is in there. The guy that played Ston in Amok Time is in there. It's one to kill an hour if you want to sit down and watch it, but it's not one of the greatest fan films I've seen.
Yeah.